I do a lot of Epic Collection reviews on the channel, and you might wonder why I haven't done that many as of late, and it's because of this book. Usually I go through an Epic, and it takes me maybe a week or, a few days or maybe 2 weeks. And this one, I just was such a slog, and I guess I'll spoil that review, that I think it took me a month to read. So it's I stopped reading Epic Collections because I was in the middle of this. This was the Epic Collection I was reading, and I just had to finish it, Killraven. And I was really excited for this. So excited for this because it's sci-fi. It's based on War of the Worlds. It's something different. It just didn't quite work out, and I'll get to why in just a second. So this comprises Amazing Adventures 18 through 39, Marvel Team Up 45, which is actually the best part of the whole book, and Marvel Graphic Novel number 7 is continued later, 73 to 83. Now, I love sci-fi, and I love this era of Marvel in the 70s. I really think they did a lot of cool stuff then. Jack Kirby's Machine Man was really fun, for example, in that sort of vein. But then this came from Amazing Adventures. So Amazing Adventures was a series that started with the Inhumans and Black Widow, and it actually had Beast backups from the X-Men, and this continued from that. So actually all the epics I think they have collected this entire series, which is kind of cool if you want to read it that way, even though those other stories have nothing to do with this. So basically it's 1999, and we find out Killraven is this mutant, and I love the first issue actually, who has kind of escaping and is plotting to come back to these Martian overlords and just wreck their day because they've taken over Earth. It's past War of the Worlds. They came back after the War of the Worlds movie, and Earth is dominated by these Martians. And it's this post-apocalyptic nightmare. You get really cool creature designs. That's the best part of this book. So you get these, and there's a lot of mutants. You see these these are from the original War of the Worlds here. And Killraven, in this first issue, you learn about him and how he grew up in this society, and now he's vowing to fight back and take these Martians down. Very cool setup, and you're sweet, okay. And it's all right for the next couple issues. You got Gary Conway doing it on script, Howard Chaykin on art, who's always good. And you get the sirens. Look at those. Little exploitation there. And the first couple issues here are pretty fun. You kind of get this vision of post-apocalyptic New York where you've got these, look at this cool design too. Howard Chaykin did a great job. Killraven's captured here, of course, and then he comes back, and so Marv Wolfman and Herb Trimp take it over right now. He escapes. We meet Mashula, who becomes his right-hand man, and we end up having a team as we start to introduce these characters. Now, the first 2 issues set up this really nice world, and now you see that there's some humans who are controlled by the Martians, whether because they're robotics or whatnot. And Killraven's become a mutant or a human sort of resistance leader, and people know who it is at this point. So Herb Trimp does a pretty good job too. This wraps up pretty quickly. Look at this Crabman. Like I said, cool creature designs, which do last throughout the whole thing. Now, as Don McGregor takes over the writing, you can kind of see it's covered in dialogue, too much dialogue. And this is where it starts to slow down and cause a problem. And that's pretty cool. The human squid. At this point, Killraven starts to travel. This is cool. But look at all the dialogue on this. But look, the art's sweet on this. And that's what I kind of feel over the course of things. They meet up, this is Carmilla. She ends up joining the team. And there's an old man who ends up joining the team also. And they travel from place to place. There's always a bad guy who's some mutant or part of controlled by Martians or something like that. They have to rescue some people, and then they move on to the next place. And I guess they're going to try to find these Martians in Yellowstone, which is allegedly where I guess his brother is. But you see the dialogue. It just is it's become so much of a slog to read this. I just didn't want to at some point. And since there's really, like, the world building's cool, all the creature designs are awesome. It's just like they really never establish any sort of like real plot beyond the couple of issues. You know, there's 2 or 3 issue arcs sometimes where they go somewhere, they run into some strange Martian stuff, they rescue some people, they kind of move on their merry way, and it just doesn't. That's it. Over with this much dialogue, over and over and over again, and it's just like, whew, even the, I mean, that's so cool. It's just sad to me that this much art is covered up with this much dialogue. Look at that cool designs again, sweet 70s designs, just like over dialogued. And again, the thing is, like, all those cool characters and all those cool designs, they show up for that one issue or something. They never come back. They just move on to somewhere else and start over again, and it really doesn't build into anything. The Resistance doesn't feel like they're going anywhere. It doesn't feel like, you know, the Martians are really having any problems with them. Eventually, Killraven kind of gets these powers where he just like gets psychic impressions and of what's going to happen. Like, he ends up like psychically going to Mars at points. But again, it's the same basic plot line where all that happens over and over. And now you see like there's whole pages where it's like he's writing a novel instead of a comic. It just doesn't work out. And I wish it worked out. I really wanted to like this so badly. I was excited for the whole thing. And man, by the end of this, like, I just like couldn't, gosh, see, there's all dialogue here. Whew. It's really rough. Now, we get a little break in the action in Marvel Team Up. And Bill Mantlo does this. Sal Buscema does the art. And Spider-Man comes into this world. Spider-Man helps him fight off somebody. As they first have their normal, who are you? Are you a villain? Where they fight each other, of course, because they always do that. But then Spider-Man and him team up. And sadly, Spider-Man runs off and goes back to his own time. Interesting crossover. And it never gets referenced again. But that was actually a fun issue, and it was paced very nicely. So I'm like, a breath of fresh air. And then we get back to the dialogue slog. So really it just goes on like this, and then it just ends. And again, just like cool concepts and cool art. It's just they don't mean anything, because it's just like they never go anywhere. And then you get the graphic novel, which comes later, and you get a nice rehash of all the characters. They're going to break into this Martian base in this one. I actually really like the colors on this. It's really nicely done. The graphic novels were pretty nice on that level. But again, the dialogue just kind of kills it. You meet this astronaut lady from like she was an astronaut before the world went bad. And she leads them into the Martian base in order to rescue his brother. Turns out his brother's controlled by Martians. His brother ends up dying for the cause. And they eventually take down the Martian base, and that's the end of that. But again, just too much dialogue through it. It's not as bad as the issues were before. It feels like there's a little bit of a completion, but here's this again. Pretty cool artsy like thing here. And blows up, and that kind of ends the storyline. So that's that. I really wanted to see like a build of a real resistance, and like a real sort of feel like they're, maybe we're going to get the Martians off Earth and maybe go, attack them on their own ground, do something with that. But no plot really ever developed out of it. And it's just, it was a painful read. So I love the art concepts, but it just didn't work out. 5 out of 10 overall. That 7 is a good one for me. And just rough stuff. All right, let me know what you thought about this. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll be back soon.